Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast for Farnborough Football Club, and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening, everybody watching us on YouTube. It is 2025. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year. I'm joined by Tom and Simon as normal. We'll start with Tom because we can't see you, but how are you doing?
I'm pretty good, barring a few technical difficulties, switch of setup and stuff. So hopefully we'll have a lovely new sort of webcam, so you see me in 4K next time and break your TVs a bit quicker. But or you think you're watching a Tom Selleck film or something again. But no, I'm doing all right. Nice to be back on the podcast chatting some bollocks about football again, and National League South football specifically today. But yeah, no, not too bad. Not really been out too much. Enjoyed a nice holiday season.
How was your Christmas?
Pretty good, pretty decent, quiet. Got to go to the footy on Boxing Day. Robbed on Boxing Day as well, by the way. That was a farce, but we had a good time. How about you?
I'm assuming you meant about I thought you meant about the game, Tom, or you got robbed on the way home as well.
Chances are in Farnborough.
Yeah.
That webcam's going to come in handy for you, Tom, with your porn career starting off. You'll need to web your cam exploits.
Porn career. The less said about that, the better. Simon, how are you? How was your Christmas?
Yes. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm all right. Got over a bit of a bad ankle, a bit of an attack of gout, unfortunately, before Christmas again. Same thing we had last year. But I'm all good now. I'm fighting fit, ready to go. Back on the running. So very good.
Yes, well, you are a long sufferer of the disease that is gout. Now you're now in my phone as gouty. So.
Well, if you ever wonder where your national health contributions go to the NHS, there's me using them all up for you. So there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but you never actually went to the doctor or the hospital.
Yeah. It's that. No, that's true. But I did use it when I went to get the STI test down the gum clinic a few years ago. So there you go. So there's made my contribution.
Simon.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can't be too careful, mate. Can't be too careful. If we're hanging around with you two, you know what I mean. Can't be too careful. You know what I mean. So that's why do you think we do this on webcam and not in person anymore? You know what I mean?
Let's move on from this, shall we? This is not good podcast material. Right.
Awful, I'd say.
As usual, from Simon.
I should add, by the way, that I'm healthy in every way. By the way, so there we are. Yeah, we've got the all clear. All done.
Not everywhere. Sure? Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, are you sure about that, Simon?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I'm feeling all right anyway. You know, oversleeping too many times, but other than that.
I wouldn't bet on you that being true, but
yeah, no, it's definitely not true. You are not fit or healthy.
True. So all the ladies out there, you're safe with me. Don't worry.
No, I will mute you, Simon. Okay, so right. Thank you to everybody that's watching us on YouTube. As you can see, we have got Zak Hill, who is the founder of NLS Expert. Now it used to be called NLS Hub before. Now NLS Expert. Good evening, Zak.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Well, good. How are you? How was your Christmas and New Year?
Well, Christmas was all right. Boxing Day, missed the football, but luckily it was abandoned after 60 minutes due to floodlights failure at Hemel.
Oh, it's Hemel, it's Hemel. I saw that.
Yeah.
Quite happy to say that.
Yeah. Then New Year's Day, good win over Enfield, 2-0 at home, which was quite rare in 2024. Only saw us win at home 5 times in the league.
Yeah, very nice.
Really?
Including Farnborough,
And we should say,
Is that including the friendly, Zach?
Not including the friendlies, but just in the league.
we should say, Zach, to everybody that is watching us, you are obviously you've got this NLS expert Twitter page going on that where you're quite sort of well versed on the National League South, but you are also a St Albans fan.
Yeah, that's how I've sort of got into the National League South mainly, and been following St Albans for 10 years now. So yeah,
we send our condolences.
Pardon?
Sorry.
Send our condolences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? That someone's got to do it, so it might as well be you. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
We'll say, did you get anything nice for Christmas? Did you get yourself a nice St Albans scarf, or the shiny new away shirt, or was it?
Actually got our away shirt for Christmas. So yeah, that was quite nice.
What colour's the away shirt?
Pink, bright pink.
Oh dear, when did we have that?
Oh yes, it's quite a nice shirt. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
it is a nice shirt.
Was that not the women's team shirt? That one.
Same for both. So. Yeah.
At any point, Zach, you can just turn around to him and tell him to shut up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of pink, Zach. You might have gathered. I don't like it. Yeah. The Farnborough away shirt's white with a pink stripe down it, and I do actually have one. I've got Jack Bull.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I've got Jack Bull.
It gives all this. He doesn't like pink and that, but he wears the shirt. So
yeah, that's what it's all about, though.
It is my favourite snooker ball, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about Simon. He needs to stop. Right, Zach, tell us all about this NLS expert. Then, how did it start?
So originally, it was sort of started, I think, back in February, and it was originally just started to troll Gary Monk at Cambridge for recalling one of St Albans' players, George Hoddle. But then it got sort of like May time during my A-levels. I was just really bored, so I decided to turn it into this NOS hub account where I was just covering all things just for a bit of fun. But it just kept growing and growing a bit. Then I did this manager ranking thing back in sort of July. Then
I remember this.
Yeah, I think I remember this. Yeah,
it really blew up quite a bit after Jerry Gill, Bath's now ex-manager, sort of.
He wasn't happy, was he?
Wasn't very happy with it, but luckily it did help my account grow massively.
And he's sacked now, so
yeah, he's sacked now.
Yeah,
I was trying to prove right on that one.
1-0 Zach.
But yeah, so the account itself has grown quite well, hasn't it? It's got like over 3,000. Was it over 1,000 followers?
1,000.
Yeah.
Wish it was 3,000.
No, I was confused. Yeah, because it's the tweet that we put out about you coming on, that reached obviously because it reached obviously through your followers, that reached like over 3,000 views and that was really good for us as well.
Yeah, so I mean, lads, it's the merits of controversialness. Because I keep telling these boys, we need to be more controversial. Don't be so.
I've tried to tone down the controversy on my account a little bit, but.
Yeah, I'm trying to tone ours up.
Can you explain to us how to tone it down? Because I've been trying to do that for Simon for the last 30 years. It hasn't worked.
Yeah, it's just about trying to keep quiet as much as possible when stuff's going on.
I think the opposite. I think you get your opinion out, and if it rustles feathers, so be it. See, it helped Jerry Gill. I think you shouldn't let anything stop that, especially because I think when you've got such a special sort of thing of being able to be so opinionated in quite a niche league that not a lot of knowledge comes through. I think why not be the voice of it?
Yeah.
I have to say, Jerry did block me after we beat Celtic.
Well, Joe, he's eating humble pie now. Zach. He's sunning himself on the beach in Barbados. Thinking about you, thinking, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that lad when I see him. And that sort of thing.
Down Job Centre Plus.
Yeah, he's having a time taking time away from football. I think they call that, don't they?
Yeah. Very conservative way of saying
it. Yeah, happy days.
So, what is it about? How long have you been following like the National League South? Is it just since St Albans have been in there, or have you been watching it before?
Since St Albans have been in it, so sort of for 9 years, and sort of the last sort of 5 years, I've sort of been just constantly watching highlights of every team in the league. just really getting into it. Yeah, just
That's got a lot better, isn't it, over the last couple of years, isn't it? Mostly all the teams now have got to release highlights after the game. And I think it's like a mandatory sort of thing now, isn't it, as well? Which is
I think every club releases highlights. Yeah, all good quality as well.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, well, I follow a lot of the accounts on or we got one on the podcast Instagram that I run, and it's all the highlights are always on there like pretty soon after the matches.
Yeah,
Which is quite good. So as soon as like Sunday evening comes around, there's like flipping reels and reels and reels of videos that I'm going through, watching all the goals and things like that.
Yeah.
It's good. And if you're driving in the car up the M1, you've got nothing better to do. Just stick the video, one job done.
We should say we don't advocate watching any kind of videos on your phone or anything like that while driving.
No, that's right. I couldn't agree more. But as Alan knows, for me, it's like going to a funeral in my car. There's nothing on at all. There's no radio, nothing, just silence. I like to just drive and think about my own thoughts as I drive. For 3 hours to Loughborough for work. Yeah.
Zach, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you've got I presume there's such a love for the National South and sort of that level of interest. I think since Farnborough have got back in it, and it's probably the first time I've supported Farnborough in that league at an age I can sort of appreciate it and realise the league that surrounds it. What is it about the league that sort of has given you such a fascination with it and such an interest? Because I think it's something I share as well, and it is a great league. But what makes that for you?
I think sort of two things: the competitive nature of the league, like it's so competitive. Like last season, Dartford and Havant going down when they were probably odds-on favourites to get promoted, being full-time, big budgets. And secondly, I think also just how nice each club is. There's not really a bad club in the league. All the fans in the league are lovely, and really good sort of community in the league.
It's a good mix of a competitive level that is sort of real football, and I would not to put down other levels, but like a very high professional level of football. You could say semi-professional, but you got clubs like Yeovil and Torquay. But then there's also such a community-based thing of it brings these small places and towns together in the form of football clubs.
Yeah, 100%. Like this year, you've got Dorking, Torquay, Maidstone, Bournemouth,
Farnborough.
But those four I mentioned are all spending, I think, close to $1 million a year on players.
Yeah. It's insane. But
I want to say, Tom, I was talking to Simon about this the other day. Are you slightly, because the National League South is essentially it's a part-time league? Are you concerned about the amount of full-time clubs that are not dropping down, but the amount of full-time clubs that are staying in the league because there's only two can go up?
I think there's sort of, for me, two opinions to this. Sort of, I think it's good in a way because it just pushes the other clubs to keep on to sort of investing into their club, pushing further and further. But yet again, right now, I think 6 of the top 7 are either full-time or hybrid, which is where they train at least 3 mornings a week. So in some ways, there's a huge advantage to it, which does make it unfair for the other teams in the league massively.
Yeah, I just think like in the next 3 or 4 years, clubs like Farnborough will be forced into having to become a hybrid club because they don't continue to not do it. They continue to not do it, then they'll just fall further and further and further behind because we can only afford so much in wages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That as a full-time club, as a part-time club, that we have to sort of become a full-time club to be able to attract the players.
I sort of disagree slightly with what Alan says, but it's not the fact you can afford things as what you can afford as a part-time club. Because honestly, you could spend an absolute fortune buying part-time players. But the big issue is that you're not going to attract the players you need to then progress.
Yeah.
You end up stagnating.
Yeah.
I've got an awful feeling. I mean, the pragmatic side of me is coming out a little bit, where I think that if Farnborough, say for instance, became 8th last year and just missed the playoffs by a point. So if that happens again this season, that's going to look like we're stagnating already, and then that will give ammunition for Spencer to go into the board, and all the board members come around and say, "No, we need to go full time because otherwise we're going to end up going backwards rather than progressing like we were doing." So, do you feel like it's the same thing at St Albans? Because you guys have always been a part time outfit, haven't you?
Yeah, we've always been part time. Sort of the issue of St Albans is sort of there's not many places to train, and it's a very expensive place to rent pitches and so on. So yeah, we'll always be a part-time club, unless we ended up with like a new stadium, which has always been spoken about. But yeah, always.
Would you be an advocate for ground sharing with someone? Because there's quite a lot of clubs around your area that are similar ilk to you. Like we visited Hemel Hempstead ground. I mean, their grounds are shocking. To be fair, and the pitch is awful as well. And it's well, I say shocking. I was a bit controversial.
Not what the ground share with, then, is it, then, Simon?
No. I'd say just knock them both down and build it next to the motorway somewhere. You know, that's what I'd do. But yeah. I'll get rid of it. It was like a ground that's sort of pieced together bit by bit, and they sort of stopped building it halfway through. And then the pitch is raised up, and it's a rock hard sort of 3G. Yeah, it's not very good. But there's lots of clubs around the area that could probably do with having, say, a community stadium sort of built to both of you to share. But yeah, you know, I'm a bit of an advocate for ground.
But that could end up meaning like moving out to St Albans, which would be great. Yeah,
that's the other issue, isn't it? Because housing is a massive thing around the area, and with their land prices, etc., and house prices in the areas.
I will say though that your ground, it's not a bad little ground.
I absolutely love it.
It's practically sort of covered on all four sides. You know what I mean? It's got little stands on each end, and the stand, they've got a nice stand behind the dugouts. People for standing. It's a nice little ground, and the pitch is nice. I was on there with the Biggleswade ladies first team when they had their FA Cup game against the St Albans.
Oh yeah, I was down there for that game.
I was in the dugout.
Yeah.
So which St Albans obviously won, being the higher ranked team. But it's a nice, like I said, it's a nice ground. The pitch is really, really nice. But yeah, so the only issue I had there is parking. You don't have. I didn't really see sort of like a car park.
Yeah, we don't have a car park, so it's all basically all around the ground is council owned.
And the park you have to walk through to get in, but other than that,
yeah.
I'm actually the more we talk about it, the more I'm looking forward to going. To be fair, it sounds lovely.
I've been twice, and I really do like it. I think it's good ground in terms of the old like classic non-league ground, and I didn't know this till I went, but one of the main stands on the side of the pitch, I think opposite the dugout, which is used to be train station, I believe. When you see it. It's very. I think it adds a lot to the ground, and it creates a very interesting.
Yeah, a bit of character.
Yeah, completely.
And then you can't forget this. Is it Chicken George that serves up there?
Yeah, I think best food in the league by a mile.
Best chicken in the league.
Yeah.
Chicken George, is that his name? Has he changed it by default, or is that just the name of the restaurant?
I'm actually not sure on that one.
Yeah. It's just a chicken. It's like a food van. Outside one of the stands, and it's supposed to be really nice food.
I'll have to give that a bash when I go. Well, we're playing you guys because we reversed the fixture, didn't we, against yourselves?
Yeah,
so, we're playing you guys. Was it end of March or April?
Yeah.
Can't quite remember exactly when it is. That'd be good. We'll look forward to going down. You can buy us all the beer, Zach.
Well, sadly, I'm going to be missing the season from February till the end of the season because I'm going travelling for 4 months. So,
very nice.
Well, it's an absolute disgrace. You should know by now that you shouldn't be planning any holidays until pre-season, right?
I think after this season, I deserve a bit of a rest.
I was going to say, if Farnborough are in that position, I'd go travelling.
So since you started doing the NLS Expert page, have you created like a lot of contacts through other football clubs, the other football clubs in the league? Because you come up with quite a lot of information and quite good knowledge of each club in the league, and obviously some of that's based on the fact that you've been watching these teams for the last 9 or 10 years. But you must have created some sort of contact base with other like-minded people.
Yeah. I speak to fans of basically all clubs. There's a few Western fans who I talk to. There's a group. We've got a Twitter group chat with fans of most clubs, I think, on it. Speak to 1 or 2 managers of other clubs. It's fantastic. Is
there a representative from Farnborough on that Twitter group or not?
I think there's one. Forgotten his name, but yeah, I'll have a check later. But yeah,
That's not the Borough Walk, is it?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think you remember it if it was him.
Yeah.
Honourable mention to the Borough Walk. There we are.
What's the group chat name? I think it might be me. I don't remember.
Could be told he doesn't know.
I know
if it is him.
NOS Tour 24-25.
I'll check.
It could be Tom. It's Tom. He's never commented on it. Oh dear.
Oh no, I'm just in one called NLS.
What's your
Oh, he's called Jack. The Farnborough fan called Jack on it. So.
Oh, I think I know what you're on about.
It's not right.
Shout out to Borough fan Jack if you're listening, if you're watching.
I hope it's not the Northern Ireland one.
I don't think he's Northern Ireland.
He's actual Ireland, but
Is the Ireland?
Yeah, he's actually Ireland.
The accent's all the same. I can't make it out.
it's not.
It's not really, Simon. It really isn't, Simon. Before you start offending other people, let's carry on.
I'm trying to offend as many people as I can this evening. That's that's my goal for 2025. My resolution: offend as many people as you can in the space of 10 minutes.
You can't offend any more, Simon. You've offended everybody in 2024. You can't extend that.
No. I thought it was in overtime. It was. Yes. Anyway, right. Moving on. We noticed you had a little write up for the end of 2024 halfway stage, I think you called it. And you had Farnborough down in ninth. Explain yourself. Explain yourself.
I was just going off current positions. So
yeah,
I was going through, but with Farnborough, I think you've had a good start, but obviously you've had a lot of injuries. Unlucky with sort of Haddy getting injured.
Yeah,
I think he would have been a massive plus for you lot. But yeah, I think you just need to get a bit more of a settled squad. And I think you could make a charge for playoffs, but obviously it's a very tough league. Like you're talking 6 or 7 hybrid / full-time sides who should all get playoffs.
And just so competitive as well. You see there's points between. It could be like a win between 12th and like 4th or something like that. It's ridiculous and it's very hard to call. So you got to be a team on the ball to be able to sort of secure that.
Yeah. I was watching your highlights against Bath, and I just thought you were unlucky not to come away with a point. To be fair, you hit. One
of the coaching team did the interview afterwards, and Steve Baker, and we were into Happy New Year, Steve, if you're listening. He said that I can't believe we haven't come away with at least a point from the game. He was devastated. It might have been the reason why Spencer, our manager, didn't do the interview because I think he was probably too angry.
I thought Chin and Aaron Cole absolutely just ran the show against Bath.
Yeah,
they're quality. But we're hoping to keep hold of. Obviously, I think Cody will be all right with, but Chinny, the vultures are circling for Chinny.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me with it.
Doesn't surprise anybody really if that is the case.
Shall we get
but have you seen your season going? How are you finding it?
Well, with us, so obviously we had David Noble come back as manager in the summer after he went off to Wildstone, and I know lots of our fans complained about it, but I thought at the time it was the right decision because I thought end of season last year we were dreadful without him. When he was manager, he had our highest points per game of any manager in the modern club's history. But it just did not work out.
Not a very high bar though, is it, that, to be fair?
Yeah. But it just did not work out. We had a dreadful injury crisis at the start of the season. Like when we played you and Dorking, we had 10 first teamers in the squad and the rest were academy. But it was when players were losing confidence as we were losing games, and it all just spiraled sort of just out of control. So now we've got Ian Coldhouse as manager, who I'm hoping can turn it around. But yeah, just not been great all season.
Yeah, form's still a bit in and out, isn't it? You winning and losing every week, aren't you, really? But at least got Ken Charles scoring goals, which is something.
Yeah, he's been basically one of the standouts this season. Goals have dried up a bit in recent weeks, but I think if you just get him the service a bit more, he should start scoring. Hopefully he's with us till the end of the season. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
What does the new manager have to do for you to think things are going to change and what is required to turn the season around? Because I don't think as a club and the stature in the league, your league place represents you at all.
Yeah, I think it's about just getting confidence back into the players. Like you could just tell, like earlier on, there was just no confidence. You can really see some confidence coming back, like we're shooting more from range, creating more, and just sort of going for it a bit more in games. Then, secondly, I think probably need to bring in one or two players, maybe a central midfielder, maybe a wide player where we're lacking. But other than that, I think we could have a chance to stay up because defensively, I think we're all right. Like Eastbourne against us on Saturday created one big chance all game, took it. Whereas we created three or four big chances, but just didn't convert them. But yeah,
But it sort of needs to happen quite soon because you're 22nd in the league.
Gap in there. There's a
17
gap.
points.
Yeah, it's a big gap.
Enfield are a point ahead of you, and then Welling are on 24 points. So that's a point gap between you and them.
Huge gap. I think, it's going to be really tough. But I think Western Salisbury coming up and Torquay. Torquay, I don't expect anything from. I think.
You playing at home or away?
Torquay, we're playing them at home. We got a point away from home.
Half a chance with Torquay away because Torquay away are not as obviously not as good as they are at home. But like you said, but really. But
we're very poor at home, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, that's our weakness.
But they are exact opposite the Farnborough then, because that's our strength really. But Torquay are in good form at the minute, obviously top of the league still. I still don't quite know how they're still top of the league, to be honest with you. They seem to be getting sort of scraping results 1-0 and not conceding goals. They're winning sort of.
At the minute, they just seem to be one of those teams that do just enough to get the results that they want, that they need. So
they're very
1-0 wins.
Defensively team with like Jordan Dyer in defence, who's an absolute rock for them.
Yeah.
But with us, I just think Western Salisbury, we need to get 6 points off them.
Yeah.
Western are in free fall, Salisbury are in free fall.
Yeah, Western's come off the board, but I think people are waiting for that. I'm waiting for the same thing at Truro as well. I think Truro are starting to drop a little bit now, aren't they? So,
Truro, I'm not 100% sure because I've been told they're hybrid, which is a big advantage going into the later season.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think the thing with Truro is they're not going to lose players due to, I think it's going to take a lot for a player to leave mid-season from where they are.
Yeah, but you mean as in logistically or the way they are in the league? Because they're also Truro being where it is, it's kind of
both there, logistically and where they are in the league.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's a big undertaking for a player. That's what people that we on this podcast, we talk a lot about stuff that's off the field rather than on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that people forget about off the field things, people don't take into consideration a lot of the time when a player signs or leaves. It's because of where they are, where they live, and where they have families and where they're from. It's the West Country, such a it's out in the sticks properly, isn't it? You know, you've got the only teams you've got down there really are Truro themselves, is the last city before you get to Land's End, and then you've got Yeovil, Torquay, Bath, Bristol. That's it.
Yeah, and they're still 200 odd miles away from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's miles. Yeah, it's a long way away. Yeah. If you do live in Truro or that area, you're not going to be going even further east because it's.
And even the players they signed in the summer, they've probably had to pay. Truro have probably had to up their budget massively, moving back to Truro to come in.
Yeah, they're playing at Plymouth Parkway last year, weren't they?
Yeah.
They played everywhere last year.
Their fans. I felt they played a lot of places last year, didn't they? I felt sorry for their fans because their fans had to travel to a lot of grounds just to watch.
They played 4 or 5 games in Gloucester.
National League North. This is insane.
It's miles away. It's 189 miles. It was.
Yeah. I felt really sorry for their fans last season.
I think they deserve it this season to be doing well after everything they've been through the last 3 years.
I think that's such a big factor to why they are doing well. Because you think about the new ground and then just such a generally refreshing feeling of being able to know there's a consistent form of it. I think that is just naturally boosted the club and added so much momentum, and hence why they find themselves 2 points off the table.
Nice ground as well. They got as well. They're supposed to be sharing that with Penzance Pirates as well. The rugby team's going in there, so that'll be really good. I think they're even not there now. They're going to be. That's really good. That's good business and good for the finances of the football club as well.
Yeah, maybe not in the winter.
No, the football will be off and the rugby games will carry on, won't they? So They'll be playing back at Plymouth again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. But I don't think they'll be down at Taunton. I don't think they've still got pitch problems down there, haven't they? So yeah, I think they're struggling with it.
Zach, what did you going back to St Albans? What did you think of Partington?
Partington's one that really interests me. I quite liked him. I thought he organised our defence well. I think as a leader and as a captain, he was fantastic. As a player, I thought he was quite crap, and it was just that sort of mix of it.
Yeah,
he was quite slow, always getting sort of outpaced. But yeah, again, he was always player going around after we scored to each player, sort of just like going through it. And I think in recent weeks, I think without him, we have struggled a bit more because like when we've gone 1-0 down, we don't really have that leader in the side to like instruct the other players.
I think that's a similar why we signed him because obviously we signed him straight from Aldershot. He needed to go part time, so we
made him captain straight away. Which
made him captain.
Yeah, he was unfortunately he came in at a time where we'd signed a lot of players like that who were sort of the wrong side of 30, and we're looking for the experience. And none of it really worked out. And Partington was not the first casualty of that. He left, and obviously the first game he played after leaving was his new club, St Albans, at our place.
It was the same thing with us. He left us to go to Worthing. His first game was against us, but wasn't. He was on the bench and didn't come on.
But apparently the Worthing fans really have taken to him. He's done quite well.
Getting really good reviews off.
I think he suits the way they play. Where he was at Farnborough, he played a lot at right back. And
I did not understand you lot playing him at
right back. It didn't really work.
No,
I think Spencer wanted to play four at the back because we had Jordan Norville willing to play on left side, and we had Partington, but then when he played for you guys, he played in the centre of three. He looked really good.
I think last season he was really good for us. I think this season, I just think he picks up a couple of injuries here and there, then confidence in the side also got ruined. So yeah.
I liked him. I thought he was a good player, and he sprays that he's got a good range of passing as well. And he organises, leader on the pitch, that sort of thing. He just needs players around him who've got the pace.
Yeah,
because obviously he's what.
Yeah, I didn't really take to him, to be honest. Like Simon said, he would probably he played in right back a couple of times, which wasn't really his position. He played centre back quite a lot, and he played in that CDM role that Spencer was trying out. And again, neither of those positions really worked. But like I say, he's not blessed with a lot of pace. Maybe he did when he was younger. I don't know, but
I don't know. I think he was a bit of a victim of his circumstances there because we obviously when he signed, we had 3 or 4 players who were over the wrong side of 30. And they all signed at the same time, and none of them really worked. And I think it was just the nature of the team, and he was the first one out the door. He was on the most money, I think. So he went first, and then everyone else followed pretty much.
His lack of pace really showed in our game against Aveley a couple of months ago. It was in between managers. Then conceding 6 to Aveley was
is it the 6-3?
Yeah, 6-3. It was quite second lowest point this season, I think.
It was a good game for the neutrals, eh?
Yeah.
I think with Partington, I don't think at far. I think I agree with both what Alan and Simon said. Bit of a victim of circumstance and misused, and obviously in that batch of probably quite a poor summer, realistically. But I still don't think giving him the captain was the right idea straight away, and I don't think he really was a captain at all. I don't think he set an example on the pitch, like playing wise, for the other players, and I think it allowed a certain standard that probably shouldn't have been allowed. And I think we had to sort of learn from that mistake in the market, and I think we have, especially late.
Did you think he was? I think he might have been a case of being Casey Mark 1, don't you? Because Casey came in, the same thing happened to him, isn't it?
I just don't think that's sort of the way you go. I mean, I think it can work. I think we've had players as well. You look almost like a Kevin Locko.
Yeah.
I think there's such a key difference between those two players, and you could see it. And it looked like to me, with all due respect, effort at the end of the day, flatly effort, and getting to a stage of dropping to the National South when you've been above that and still thinking, I've got to put everything into this. He's not above the level, and he wasn't. And
I think you're right, Tom. At that time, I think that when Spencer made a lot of those signings, I think there's a lot of players there thought they were stepping down the league, and they thought they were going to coast every week. and it'll be easier. And it's actually turned out the league is really, really, really tough. I mean, the National League's mental. I mean, it's mad. I mean, there's like 23 out of 24 teams in there that just could beat anyone. Anyone could beat anybody. And our league's similar. There's probably 14 teams who could probably beat each other every week. If you played the fixtures week in, week out with those 14, they'll probably get different result every week, wouldn't you? But it's like that. But I mean, the National League's mental. But I think they all thought, coming from there, they thought step down to National League South. Oh, this would be a bit easier. You know what I mean? It's not like the North. It's not tough and gritty. It's, you know, they're all going to get the ball down here and play, and it'll be all pretty and nice. But actually, there's some strong teams in there who are physical as well. You know, and they can do everything. I think they've got a bit of a rude awakening, to be fair. That's just
absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. What have you got? What have you got coming up on your page lately? Have you got anything planned?
Well, I was going to do a thread on Slough, and I was going to do a Twitter thread on one of Dartford's players in the league below, Ollie Box.
Ollie Box is I was hoping you'd say him. He's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, I think he's just ridiculous. I think he should be looking at National League or League Two as his next club. I think,
minimum National League, I think, because the numbers in that league, and it's not for a Dartford team that's pissing it either. Yeah. They aren't really at the races yet. They're getting there. They've had to adjust, but he's absolutely like shone in that side.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, how come he's not been snapped up yet then?
What I've heard from speaking to Dartford fans, because he's a Dartford boy, he came through their academy. I think he's waiting for a move where he'll go into the first team and not playing under 23s football.
Yeah.
Because I heard West Ham and Crystal Palace were actually looking at him last season, but he didn't want to go play under 23s. That's what I've heard.
Don't blame him. It's
fair enough.
It's really good for his development as well. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about him. But you know, you don't want to be playing under 23 football because it's not football, basically, is it? It's not proper football. You need to be playing men's football.
Men's football is just miles better than under 23s. You've got more physicality. I think it's much fast pace.
Yeah. I mean, you get the odd sort of former pro, as it were, or someone coming back from injury every now and again. But the rest of the teams they're all sort of kids, aren't they, really? And it's not. It's sort of it's more sort of technical ball down playing it rather than actual physicality and you know, effort. Whereas it's a rude awakening when they go from that to trying to play men's football. So it's a different world completely. So I think for someone like that, I think it shows good character, to be fair, on his behalf.
Absolutely.
Turn down these things because he's not going to get anywhere. He's going to end up stagnating in the Premier League side in London 23 so he'll get farmed out on loan somewhere. Yeah. You know, he'd have lost his confidence after 3 months of that. And I think he's doing quite things staying where he is. He might be a year of playing at a lower level where he knows he should be playing higher. So then at the end of the season, he'll only probably I should imagine he hasn't only got a contract at the end of the season. And then he'll be on a free agent then, and he can then decide where he wants to go. And he'll have plenty of offers, I should imagine. So
if he wants to go anywhere, if they end up going up, he might want to stay with them in the next level. So
with players anymore.
It's at the end of the day, it's men's football, and that's what young players need to be playing. At the end of the day, they need to scrap this whole under 23s thing, league thing, or whatever it is.
Well, the good thing is these kids have got to play some football, haven't they? Otherwise, all they're going to do is train. They got to play some football. But they're trying to do something. But this is the reason why they brought that National League up in, because they want to get the under 23 teams playing against proper men's teams.
Men's teams,
you know, I can see why they did it, but obviously it annoyed everybody because they all voted for no replays in the FA Cup and then brought that bloody competition.
Well, is there not a case then? This would be a good one for you as well, Tom. Is there not a case then for these under 23 teams to be integrated into these sort of lower leagues? You know, like what they do in Spain, where like the big teams play in the league below.
A B team,
I think the English football is bigger than that. I don't think you need to pander more to bigger clubs. I think that the fact that happens and you get Barcelona B or whatever in the second division of Spain just shows the difference in level between the second division of England and the second division of Spain. A B side's not touching probably professional football in England because and a lot of that comes to just the depth and strength of English football.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying put them in the Championship or anything like that. I'm saying like if put them down in like the National League South or even maybe. I don't
think you can find a level that like is fairly adequate to allowing space for these clubs, but also probably a good enough test run 23 player. I don't think that lines up.
Could you imagine though, Johnny? I don't think any of these we'll get your opinion on this in a minute, Zach. But I don't think any of the current members of the National League South or the National League would allow it either. They'd have to vote it in.
No, probably not.
None of them would allow it, because otherwise you'd have to have. We'd end up being, if you had say 10 under 23 teams from the Premier League come down, then you'd have to have that. But that'd be 10 teams getting relegated out of the National League South, for example. So they'd be going to the Southern Leagues. That's even less money, and it'd be a bloody awful, wouldn't it? Or you'd end up playing like 55 games a season. You know what I mean? It'd be flipping stupid. So
in that case, then there has to be more effort in loaning these players out to actual men's teams. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, 100%. I think loans are massive now in our league, especially for teams sort of with smaller budgets. For example, like St Albans, we've got, I think, 5 players on loan at the moment. And I think it's much more important to a player having that development out on loan. I think you see more players who have had a loan move break into the first team as they've had a bit more physical edge than sort of the usual under 23. And sort of moving under 23 teams into the actual pyramid, I just think it ruins the integrity of the league. No under 23 team's going to pull 1,500 in National League South.
No, completely.
No, not you're right. I mean, also the good thing is, if you think years ago, I mean, even David Beckham went out on loan and he went to Preston. So look at him. He said that loan at Preston, he was fortunate enough. He was under David Moyes as a manager then, and it moulded him as a player. And he came back to United. He felt a lot better for it.
I suppose for young players, it's about being in that dressing room as well with those characters and those older players to help you and guide them. Just a bit like what Ricky Holmes probably does as well at Farnborough, help with some of the youngsters, helping them and guiding them into the men's game. So that basically, I think just needs more impetus on getting these young players loaned out to these lower levels. Really,
I think the National League Cup is isn't a bad idea on the principle. But what I don't like about it is the fact that it's almost like they've taken away the FA Cup replays and then added that competition instead. It's almost like they've said, "Oh, we'll take them away and we'll have this instead." Whereas it really shouldn't be that way. So they could do both. It's up to the National League side if they want to play a full strength team or not. A lot of them have.
I mean, it's already a bit of a dross competition. I think a lot of people don't want to see that. That's not what people are interested in. But then I think contextually and timing wise, when the replays go and ended up probably costing a lot of non-league clubs thousands of pounds across all the levels, and then giving them a competition that will attract 50 people.
Well, there was an example of the FA Cup. I mean, there was at least 7 teams, I think it was, 7 non-league teams that actually would have earned replays in those games, which would have then, some of them would have ended up on TV as replays. Others would have obviously just had the extra revenue for the attendance, as an example. I mean, and also another big example of the non-replays issue is the Tamworth, isn't it? And their ticketing price. That. But I can see why. I have to say, I have to agree with everything they've done. They've got to make the most of it. They have to make the most of it, and it's not like they can say, "Oh, well, if we get a replay, we can play at Tottenham Stadium." And all that. They can't do that. They've got one opportunity, and then they've got to take it.
I want to get Zach's opinion on this, because I kind of I don't 100% agree with it. I do understand why they've done it, but I think that they could have done it a bit differently. Maybe they didn't need to increase the prices quite so much, and I just sort of took issue with the fact that they were charging under 10s or whatever it was, like 25 quid. I mean, these kids aren't really going to be watching the game, are they? They're just going to be running around the pitch like Simon's boy does. So I didn't really see any point in charging them. But yeah, I personally think I get why they're doing it, because it's a one-off game. There's no replays, which they could potentially earn one if the replays were in there. So they're just trying to maximise the money that they're getting, and all the money they're sold out. Basically, they sold out the game anyway. So all the controversy about it, the tickets have been sold.
Yeah.
I've got to say though, if you're going to put those prices, you've got to be playing a big club minimum.
Oh yeah.
Well,
the way Spurs are going, we'll probably end up playing a load of under 18s the way our injury crisis is going. But Zach, I know you voiced a bit of an opinion against it, didn't you, on Twitter? And we had a little sort of discussion about it on Twitter as well. But yeah, so what is your opinion?
My biggest issue with it is sort of actually the teenage price bracket, like with the sort of, I think it was like 12 to 17-year-olds. I think that causes them a lot of upheaval, just sort of, they're not going to have the money, they're going to have to try and sort out ways, and like big groups of mates are less likely to go.
Yeah.
And so from my experience, like one of my best ever St Albans memories was St Albans versus Forest Green in the FA Cup first round in front of a sellout crowd. And
is that as big as it's ever got, Matt, for you, Zach? Is it?
Yeah, basically, I think that's the biggest.
But there was no Arsenal at Highbury for you then, was there?
No, sadly not yet. Not yet. Hopefully, at some point. But that's probably my best footballing memory. It was all cheap for my mates to get in. It was fantastic day. I just feel like younger kids, like teenagers, are going to struggle to make that memory at Tamworth. I don't think big groups of them will be going, so on and so forth. But on the other hand, scrapping replays was such a bad choice that has probably led to this.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. Well, this is probably a direct result of the replays being scrapped. Because if the replays were on the table, Tamworth would never have done this.
Yeah, and
ticket prices would have been. They may have increased them slightly by a couple of quid just for the occasion. Plus, they got the TV revenue coming in as well, because it's going to be on live on TV. So they would, if the replays were an option still, then this would never have happened.
The issue is also that with the FA Cup gate receipts, they get 50-50 share, isn't it? Whether Spurs are taking any money is doubtful, but but even so, they've got to take that into consideration as well. At the time, they were thinking, well, we're only going to get 50%. We need to. I sort of know why. I can understand also from a business and ticketing pricing point of view that why they've charged teenagers sort of the prices they have, because they're taking up a space just like everybody else. So they think we need to get as many people in as we can. So I think if there had been replays, I think you could have seen them saying, right, it's going to be £30 across the board. Under 18s are 15 quid. They could have done it that way. And they said, if we get a replay, great. If we don't, we don't. They would have done it that way. They're maybe taking that view, but they haven't got that choice. They've literally got to take grass and nettle and say, right, this is our only chance to fund ourselves for the next 2 or 3 seasons, possibly.
And at the end of the day, as well, like I said, they have sold out all the tickets. So the Tamworth fans that are there going, they bought the tickets. They're going and they'll be there the following week when the ticket prices are back to normal. So the fans will always be there. So I just think.
As we know, though, from over the history of football, the fans are always like. I think the fans are always thought of last. I mean, me and Alan had a debate about some of the games that were subsequently either postponed or then called and then deemed playable over the weekend. I said, there's the last thing that all these clubs and that people think about is the fans all the time. They never think about them.
Yeah, but the trouble is, Simon, is that not everybody is as lazy and bone-idle as you and can't organise themselves. So most people can organise themselves a bit better. When they make a 30-minute.
That trip. No, I'm not having it.
40-minute journey between Chertsey and Aldershot. If you can't make that in less than an hour,
on a Saturday, mate, with all those weekend drivers and shoppers, mate. Oh, it's shocking, mate. Shocking.
No chance, mate.
At least 2 hours notice.
Just accept it. Just accept it. You're wrong, because there were no complaints about it. We're not talking about Aldershot anyway. So, but
anyway, on a different note, to stop the children from squirming, Zach. I wanted to ask you a bit of a sort of different question, unique question. Obviously, you've got the vast knowledge of the league. For St Albans right now, I'd love for you to pick sort of, say, 5 players from around the league. I'd say generally realistic, but don't completely limit yourself. The players you could see realistically, maybe one day wanting to play for St Albans. Who would you love to see happen?
Well, one player I'd love to see back is Mitchell Rice from Cheshire. He was fantastic for us last couple of seasons. I think we really underestimated what a loss he would be. And I actually bumped into him at work week, and I did joke with him, fancy coming back. But yeah, that was a no.
He wasn't returning the pair of jeans you sold him, did he? Was he?
No. But put me on the spot here. Actually, in goal, actually one of yours. I wouldn't mind. Joe Turner.
Jack Turner.
Yeah, Jack Turner. My bad. Wouldn't mind him. I think he's a fantastic keeper. That would be a brilliant addition if that ever happened.
Well, he's got a 500 grand release clause.
Yeah. Actually, a centre forward who I'd like, he's not at a club right now. I'm not sure what his reasons for leaving you was Mason Bloomfield.
It was personal stuff to do with family.
Yeah, personal reasons. Yeah, he's out of football altogether at the minute. Yeah.
If that ever gets resolved, and if he ever comes back, would love him.
He's a proper forward. He's really good. I really liked him. He was great in his first spell there. He struggled a bit at Hampton, but I think the club itself were going for a bit of a bad time anyway. But he still got double figures goals last year, and then he come back to us, which is great signing. He's a really proper nice bloke as well off the pitch. Really good guy.
I don't think he should have ever left us, personally. I don't think that. No. I think if he stayed, he could have had a massive season for us after.
Yeah, he would have done. Yeah. So, but there we go. I think it's a good player you mentioned there. I think
he's not done yet.
I've done three.
He's trying to get a whole Simon. Yeah, well, he's trying to get a whole team in. He's trying to nick all of our players.
He's only named about 3 players.
I think the secret Farnborough fan. He wants all of our players.
I'm trying to think now. There's one I can't try and. You've really put me on the spot here.
Yeah,
we like doing it on this podcast. No grace and favours here.
Sam Youngs from Enfield, fantastic central midfielder, runs the game, chips in with goals here and there. Really impressed me on New Year's Day. So that's 4. Then 5th one.
Yeah, his Sam Youngs. His name's been bandied about a bit actually from quite a few different places.
Elliot Long at Welling hasn't impressed for them this season, but I just think he does not fit their style of football at all. But I think if you put him into a team where it's a bit more on the floor, a bit more sort of technical based, I think he could tear it apart. Watched him at Wingate quite a bit last season, and he really, really impressed me. Although league below, I think if you built a side a bit more around him, more suited to him, he could have.
I don't think you never fairly judge a player that's at Welling on their technical ability either.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the goalkeeper, they have got a very good goalkeeper, I'd say.
Yeah, Reece Lovett. Yeah, big fan of him.
He's brilliant.
Yeah,
he needs to be the Jack Turner replacement when that ever needs to happen. I think.
I think Jack Turner's staying at Farnborough's goal till he's literally retired, and when I say retired, I mean 65. You know what I mean?
Yeah, retired from plumbing, not football.
Yeah, not football retirement age. No, just general public age. Yeah,
he'll still be playing for us when he's Dave Hill's age.
Yeah, Dave Hill will still be warming him up.
Still be warming him up, yeah.
Yeah. Dave Hill will be.
Who's the best side you've seen this season so far?
Best side. It's really interesting this one because they've really struggled. But I thought first 70 minutes Salisbury played against us when they went 4-0 up. I thought they were fantastic. I thought Josh Hedges for them. Absolutely to our spot. I think he's out injured at the moment, which is good for you guys next week. But absolutely to our spot. Then also, hate to say this as a St Albans fan, but Boreham Wood just a class above.
Yeah, they're quality, aren't they? Some of the signings they've made is ridiculous. And they've got Benton and Rush. I mean, bloody hell, they're ridiculous. And Rush has already started scoring as well. He got another one the other night.
Yeah.
So he's already banging them away. But there's a lot of people saying about Maidstone being up there, but then on the flip side of that, I actually quite like Maidstone. But on the flip side of that, a lot of people are saying, well, when you got promoted, I had that run last time. Well, they should have gone up, and they didn't. They had Rush and Benton were playing for them then, and they're playing for them now. So
I think they're 2 huge losses for them. And also that Papadopoulos has been recalled by Cleveland, who's another standout. It was another standout for them.
Sorry, who's his parent club?
Crawley.
Oh, is it Crawley? Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I knew he was on loan for some. I couldn't quite remember. Couldn't quite place where. Yeah, he's been a really good player for them. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've gone from having, because they had Rush briefly as well on loan, didn't they? And he went to Bournemouth, which was a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
I thought he was there for the rest of the season. But they paid a fee, did they, for him?
Yeah, for Rush and Benton, because they were on loan from National League. Yeah, Sutton. Yeah. And they went and paid a fee.
Yeah.
Sutton to hijack the loan, basically.
Sutton was Benton was at Solihull Moors, wasn't he? For
yeah.
As well, wasn't he? Yeah.
I have to agree on the Salisbury front, because we got rocked there 3-0 in the league. Yeah. I was there. I travelled up from Bournemouth, and I thought they weren't the better side in the game. I didn't think they played the better football, particularly had the better footballers. But you gave them the smallest bit of edge. They capitalised. They scored.
Yeah, that was the same against us. I think for first 60 minutes, I think they had 6 shots, scored 4.
And Noah Coppin was the one I noticed.
Yeah, that was his first game back from injury against us, and he took me from surprise. Then Josh Hedges as well, who I think is probably one of the best players in the league. But,
completely agree on that front.
Yes.
Right, Zach. Before we let you go, I've got one more thing to ask you. The NLS Expert, the Twitter page. What have you got? Is it? Well, I'm trying to say how to say this, but have you got plans to increase, to expand, to do anything else for it?
Yeah, so I think for next season, I'm talking to a few people here and there about potentially starting a podcast as well. This is my first podcast appearance, so it's a good little test out.
Done a good job.
I might see if I might try and tap into other leagues as well. There's quite a lot of non-league, so and I'm only touching basically the surface of it. And just try and push out as much content as possible here and there.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah. No, well, I think we can all sort of bow down to your superior knowledge of the league. Even Simon will do that as well. We'll concede as well.
You've got a good breadth of knowledge. All I would say though, if you're trying to go into another league, it's like a flipping minefield. It's like you need to remember you don't need to have a life, and if you do that, you won't have one.
Christ, Simon.
Honestly, isn't it though? You can literally it's not like you can just say, "Well, do football in a Premier League." That's one league, 20 teams, and it's it's all that. But you go non-league, my God, it's like it's literally like endless.
This is coming. Zach, this is coming from the guy that does nothing towards this podcast. So don't take anything he says like gospel.
Listen. It's I bring the looks. That's all.
Yeah. Cool.
Just have my haircut today as well. No, it's nice. Isn't it?
No, we're not interested.
My hairdresser's called Alan as well. Weirdly enough. Yeah.
I don't believe in a hairdresser called Alan. I just want to put that out there. He could not cut my hair. I'm just putting that out there.
You've seen what he does to himself. It's like a butcher's job every day, isn't it? It's just those massive meat cleavers he uses, lobbing away.
That explains the hairline, Simon.
It does.
Right. Anyway, so that leaves us. We're gonna. I think that end it nicely there. Zach, thanks for coming on tonight. Don't go away. We'll have a little chat after when we stop recording. But Tom, Simon, great having you back. Back and start the new year.
Yeah, time for a big 2025. 1K followers or something of that ilk ourselves, I reckon.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to a similar run starting up this time last year. It'd be quite nice. Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's nice to chat football again. Don't also forget to mention our sponsors, because they've been very very kind to us over 2024. Thanks.
I always mention them at the start and at the beginning. If you stop interrupting, then I can mention them at the end here.
I know what your memory's like. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Yeah, terrible.
But that leaves me to say again,
nice to talk football. Yeah.
Christ's sake, Simon. It leaves me to say thanks to everybody watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And it leaves me to say this episode was sponsored by Tratec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit tratecconsulting.co.uk. Tom, Simon, say good night.
Right, thank you. Thanks for coming on, Zach. Good to chat.
Simon's got gout.
Zach. Again, Zach, thanks for coming on. We will be back very soon with another podcast. See you all soon.